Today we're going over 6 fantasy football studs that you need to be playing in all of your lineups in week number 5, starting off with Jaylen Waddle against the New York Giants. Right now, there is no argument that he hasn't turned out exactly how you wanted him to be when you drafted him in the offseason. 11.8, 12.4, and 8.6 so far in the 3 games that he's played in PPR scoring formats. I really think that he is about to turn on the Jets. I think he is about to, go crazy the rest of this year. Last week, the struggles were much deeper than Jaylen Waddle. It also was Tyreek Hill, and the main reason was because Tua Tagovailoa was struggling. Now, don't get me wrong, Tua is a great quarterback, but against good passing defenses, he has struggled so far this season. Week number 2 in New England, he only finished with 12.26 fantasy points, and then week number 4 against Buffalo, he finished with 13.98 fantasy points. In both games against poor defenses, however, he has put up over 27 fantasy points each time. Also, in that game against the Buffalo Bills, the only guys that were really having good games on the Dolphins offense was Devon Achane, and then Braxton Berrios was also having a solid game. Heading into this weekend, I think the Dolphins are really just going to pour it on the New York Giants. If I had to take a guess, I don't think they take another loss, especially because this Giants offensive line cannot stop anybody from rushing Daniel Jones. I don't think the offense is going to be on the field much, which means the defense will be on the field for the majority of this game. I'm expecting both Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle to have solid outings in this one. Before we head into number 2, I want to quickly just ask you guys to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Also, drop a thumbs up on this video. It really helps me out. Bijan Robinson is number 2, going against the Houston Texans this weekend. These past 2 games, the Falcons have found themselves down very early, which has caused them to pass the ball a lot more than they would normally like to. All right, the Falcons are notorious for just running the ball nonstop. So far in the past 2 games when the Falcons have been competitive, though, Bijan Robinson has scored over 20 fantasy points. When they fall down early, he's averaging right around 14 fantasy points. So about a 6-point difference. This game on Sunday against the Houston Texans, they are a very young team that they're facing. All right, I think they might slow down a bit. CJ Stroud has been great so far this season, but this is going to be his toughest test since week number 1, personally. The Falcons defense is no joke. I expect them to stop Dameon Pierce very effectively in this one, which is going to put all the pressure back on CJ Stroud. My guess is that the Falcons defense keeps them in this game enough for Bijan Robinson to get around 20 carries. Also, this Houston defense is bottom 10 against running backs so far this year. So Bijan Robinson, I feel like, is primed for a great game this weekend. Number 3, we have David Montgomery going against the Carolina Panthers. Jahmyr Gibbs, first of all, is questionable to play on Sunday after getting added to the injury report on Friday for some reason. We don't know exactly why that is. I believe it has to do with his hamstring, so that's a little bit concerning to me if you are a Jahmyr Gibbs fantasy owner. Panthers right now, they're currently ranking bottom 3 in the league at stopping the run so far, and David Montgomery is coming off a game where he just ran the ball 32 times against the Packers. The plan has been very clear so far up to this point in the season. Wear down the defense throughout the course of the game as long as the Lions are in the lead of these games, which they've done a great job of doing so far into the season. They've gotten out to a nice little lead the past couple of weeks, which is therefore leading to more opportunities for David Montgomery to shine. On the opposite side of the ball, Bryce Young can't seem to figure it out just yet. All right, his only consistent connection on the team is Adam Thielen right now. So if the Lions can contain Adam Thielen in this matchup on Sunday, it could be a long day for the Carolina Panthers in this one, at least their offense. Lions defense, by the way, is ranking top 5 against the run. So it's going to be really tough for Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard to get going. Once again, all the pressure is going to fall onto Bryce Young in this one. I don't know how he's going to handle it. Like I said, Lions have a tough defense, so we'll see. Number 4 today, we have Breece Hall going up against the Denver Broncos. He is finally no longer on a snap count and is ready to be unleashed, according to the coaching staff. Not sure if that means he's going to get 10 to 12 carries or if it means he's going to get 15 to 20 carries. If you are a Breece Hall fantasy owner and you're playing him this week, let's hope it's more of towards the 15 to 20 carry range. Zach Wilson looked much better last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, so maybe he's figuring things out. Hopefully, it's not a fluke. Hopefully for Breece Hall owners and Garrett Wilson owners, it's not a fluke at least. The Broncos are currently ranking last in the league against the run. So if there's any chance for Breece Hall to get going, this is a perfect opportunity to do so. He hasn't seen over 12 carries in any game so far this year, but I'm very, very excited to see what Breece Hall can do with an increased workload on Sunday. Number 5, we have De'Von Achane against the New York Giants. Achane so far has been insanely valuable off waivers if you scooped him up, or if you stashed him at the beginning of the year during your draft. Props to you, because that was an amazing fantasy pick. 6 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. Certainly isn't going to keep up this type of momentum, I would imagine. Not going to keep up that pace. It's going to be very hard for him to do that. But he does provide the capability to have that big play happen at any point in time in the game. So that's why I think you need to be playing De'Von Achane every single week. He played great against a tough Buffalo Bills defense last weekend. Ran just 8 times for 101 carries, 2 touchdowns, and 27.0 PPR fantasy points. He should continue as the weeks go on to solidify himself as the number 1 running back on this Dolphins team. I know some people are worried about Jeff Wilson Jr. coming in and taking some carries away from him. He's going to have to keep up with Achane. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. I know that Wilson is going to get a chance to prove himself, but it's going to be very hard to be as explosive as Achane and, give off the same. The momentum just switches so quick when Achane is on the field and he just breaks off a long play. So I don't see Mostert or Jeff Wilson Jr. doing the same thing that he does. Also, these next 2 weeks, he's going against the Giants and the Panthers, which are 2 below average run defense. I would be very surprised if he doesn't play well in these matchups. Last but not least, Cooper Kupp against the Philadelphia Eagles. I had to throw my man Cooper Kupp on this list in his first game back from the IR. Everybody's waiting to see how he plays, and this is honestly a great first matchup for him. Philadelphia, while they rank top 10 in run defense, is currently bottom 5 in passing defense this year. Provides a great opportunity for Stafford to get the ball out quick to Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and see what they can do after the catch. Everybody's really very worried about Puka Nacua, and do I start him when Kupp is back? What's the situation going to look like? I think both of them can thrive in this offense. Matt Stafford has looked great this season. I don't see any reason why you couldn't start both of these guys at the moment. Another thing that could work in the Rams' favor in this matchup is Philly is a great team. We know this. They might be able to pull out to an early lead and lean on the run, whereas the Rams, if they fall down early, they're going to have to pass the ball even more. Personally, I think this is the game of the week in terms of fantasy football. I really do. There's so many great players to take a look at. We got Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, maybe if you're intrigued in that. But then on the opposite side of the ball, Matt Stafford, Kyren Williams, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and also Tutu Atwell and Tyler Higbee. So there's a lot of fantasy options that are going to be playing in this game. We'll have to see how it pans out, but I'm very excited. This is going to be I'm going to be watching this game very, very closely this weekend. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to, as always, drop a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will catch you in week number 6. Have a great week number 5. Anyways, peace.